Well, Snowflake shares are rising in the pre-market. This comes after the cloud computing giant exceeded expectations in its first quarter and lifted its full-year forecast for product revenue. Let's bring in Joel Fishbein. He's managing director at Truist Securities, and he covers this stock. Joel, thanks a lot for joining us. The story on this stock, of course, is that the bottom fell out in February when the company reported a disappointing revenue forecast, and I gather unexpectedly, the chief executive officer headed for the exit door. What do you see in these results that might provide some optimism for investors?
First, thanks for having me. And I agree with you that there was a little surprise in February when Frank Slootman, their longtime CEO, decided to retire. There's a couple of good nuggets in this earnings report, and I expect that there'll be more when they have their data summit in early June. But number one, revenue has stabilized. Frankly, the revenue was at 34% growth, product growth. More importantly, their RPO growth reaccelerated above 40%, meaning their backlog is growing very fast. And I think that what happened in February was that the CFO did the right thing and really cut expectations, took the pain then, and now we're in a situation where we're seeing re-accelerating growth. And I think this is a name that will actually outperform from here for the rest of the year.
Joel has a buy rating on this stock and a target price of $210 US. We should put a graph up on the screen so viewers can compare the prevailing share price with 210, his target. The company's also rolled out. There you see it at 171 and change. The company's also rolled out an AI product called Cortex. Tell us about that, and does it affect your view of the stock?
Yes, so they have a data platform that is built in the cloud, and what's happening now is, as you know, there's many companies that are startups and creating AI models. People will be able to bring their AI models into Cortex and be able to analyze their data much faster and cheaper than you would if you were doing it either an on-prem or in a traditional cloud environment. This is going to accelerate people's go-to-market in terms of their AI development and bringing products to market. And we think that they're at the forefront of revolutionizing this call it data cloud. And I think that this is going to be one of the major drivers of the stock going forward. There were also several other product announcements that we don't even have in our estimates right now that we think that will hit. One of the things I think is really important for investors to focus on is this company is signing $100 million deals, right? They've signed their third $100 million contract with customers. People are standardizing on Snowflake. And yes, I know the rearview mirror looks bleak, but but I can tell you going forward, people would not be spending, 9 figures on a contract with Snowflake if they didn't believe that their data cloud was ready for prime time and ready for this AI, boom that's coming.
The company is under new leadership. Sridhar Ramaswamy is now Chief Executive Officer, and the results just released are the first under his leadership. How important is he to the future of the company? It's difficult to provide an assessment of his leadership after only one quarter, but what are your hopes for Ramaswamy?
The guy works relentlessly. In the first 90 days, he's met with hundreds of customers. He's been on the road. On the call and on the callback, he was very focused, very sharp. I was frankly impressed. He's thought of as just being a person that does innovation, but his thoughts around go-to-market, around customer success, were frankly very impressive. And so I'm have a positive bias. It's only one quarter, as you said. He was at Google for a long time, built their business from roughly $1 billion to $115 billion on the ad tech side. So he's got experience in scaling businesses. But I think that the naysayers on him being able to just have a go-to-market strategy and really focus on customers, I think they're going to be positively surprised over the next several quarters as the results come out. I think the guidance is very beatable. And again, they have a huge amount of product coming to market, and they have their data conference first week in June, and I expect some very positive announcements coming out there as well.
What's your view of this sector as a whole? I know you don't cover NVIDIA specifically, but it's a sector obviously that gets affected by good news in particular from NVIDIA. That's the story again today.
Yeah, it's interesting. NVIDIA is covered by my colleague Will Stein, who's done an amazing job on that name. Frankly, he upgraded in 2017 around this AI theme, so very, very early, but caught it right. I think the sector is on the public side. I think there's going to be some very large winners. I think Microsoft, who I cover, have a buy rating on a $600 3-year target on, is going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries. Obviously, NVIDIA doing extremely well on the GPU side and providing capacity for these guys to scale. I think on the private side, I think it's a little overinvested, to be frank with you. I think that there's been a lot of billions of dollars thrown at these private companies, and very few of them are going to survive. And what we're seeing now is what Snowflake did last night was they bought a company called Charera, which is an AI startup, and they acquired 35 of their engineers for AI observability. And I expect you see a lot more of that, more acqui-hires going forward, and with some of these private guys. But we're bullish on the space. We think that it's going to be, a evolution. It's not going to be this revolution where dollars come in the door right away. But we think this is going to be a multi-decade trend where investors can make a lot of money.